So as the snowstorm comes, we are inching toward the 2014 midterm elections, and new analysis, I should say, in the Hill suggests Democrats could have a hard time holding on to their congressional seats. Unemployment still high in this country, and even if the economy improves in 2014, other issues like Obamacare could have a greater impact on voters. Jonah Goldberg is editor-at-large for National Review Online, also a Fox News contributor. Lynn Sweet is the Washington bureau chief at the Chicago Sun-Times. Lynn, the headline from The Hill: Democrats cannot count on the economy to save them in midterm elections. We've just had a pretty boffo year on Wall Street. The economy seems to be improving a little bit, the unemployment rate edging down. Even home sales seem to be going up. What's the problem for Democrats as they look toward 2014?
Well, the problem is that each congressional district where there's a real battle to be fought has its own story. So the national macroeconomic condition isn't really what's going to be at play in these individual races. Local unemployment numbers. And also, depending on who the voters are, they might not have a big portfolio to be able to run up, to be able to benefit from the big stock boost in 2014, even if it is sustained, which a lot of economists say it's not. So I would say, even as Obama will start the year talking about income inequality, raising the minimum wage, the Democrats have problems because they have to really know if these are the issues that are going to be at play in the congressional districts where they have big battles.
Well, and the first time around, Jonah, President Obama was able to blame the lame economy on his predecessor and the Republicans, he said, who drove the economy into a ditch. What does he say this time around as he tries to help his party in these midterm elections?
No, that's right. I mean, that's the blame Bush stuff has kind of lost its legs, even among his own base. And so I think that's one of the reasons why the White House and the Democrats want to change the subject to economic issues that are also sort of cultural wedge issues, these sort of populist issues, such as the minimum wage. New York Times had a big story about earlier this week saying that the White House plans a major new push for the minimum wage. I'm sure they believe the minimum wage is good, but the reason they're pushing for it isn't the merits of the economic policy. It's to change the subject. It's to get back to the sort of the populist message that Obama wanted to have, and to get people talking about anything other than Obamacare.
Yeah. So, Lynn, will we know the Democrats are trying to collect, positive stories about Obamacare to try to get that message out there. Will it work? I mean, are Americans thinking about Obamacare, or is it still the economy leading up to the midterm election?
I think it's both, because actually your health insurance and the price you pay for health care, and if God forbid you have a horrible health situation, it is an economic question as well as a health question. So those two are related. And in this case, it just depends on your circumstances. If you're somebody without insurance that has it now, and again, God forbid you really need the benefit of insurance, you're going to have a very different story to tell than somebody who had a policy, found to their much dismay it was not renewed, if they believed Obama when he said nothing will change, and then they end up paying more in premiums or copay that they had not anticipated for, even for a policy that may be better for them if, again, God forbid they need it.
And then there's the unemployment benefits thing coming to an end, or likely so, Jonah. Who do Democrats blame that on?
Well, they'll blame it on the Republicans, and to a certain extent they're right to, because the Republicans think that 99 weeks of unemployment insurance is probably enough. At least a lot of them do. As a matter of public policy, most economists generally agree that unemployment insurance tends to have a dampening effect on employment because people just stay out of the workforce longer. At the same time, there's a lot of sympathy to be had for people who can't find work, who want it, who've gone 99 weeks without finding a job. It's an incredibly depressing situation for them. But again, this is going to be one of these sort of cultural, they're trying to turn economics into a cultural wedge issue, make the Republicans seem like they're mean and they're cruel because they don't want to extend unemployment benefits. I don't know that it will necessarily work, in part because something that Lynn was getting at is that in the actual electorate that votes in 2014, To the extent they're affected by these things, my sense of it is that they're going to be much more likely to be angry about Obamacare than happy about Obamacare. That doesn't mean there won't be people who are happy about Obamacare, but the electorate that tends to vote in midterm elections seems to me will be far more animated by their animosity towards it because their premiums have gone up, their deductibles have gone up, they've lost the plan that they liked, they feel like they were lied to, or that they're involved in small businesses that feel the impact of Obamacare. And you got to remember, they delayed all of the unpopular stuff till after the presidential election in 2012. So all the popular stuff kicked in years ago. All the unpopular stuff is going to be rolling out throughout 2014. And I doubt the economy is going to get so good that it's going to counterbalance that.
Lynn, Jonah pointed out we're going to be hearing a lot about, and we are hearing a lot about, income equality and hiking the minimum wage. Gallup is out with a poll from earlier in December. They asked Americans, what are your top concerns? The dissatisfaction with government actually came in at number one. The economy in general, 19%, healthcare, 17%, unemployment, 12%. The list goes on, but nowhere in there do you find income inequality as a raging concern among Americans.
Well, I agree with you, and I think if trust in government is a problem for Democrats, partly because the botched Obamacare rollout, which is more than just the healthcare.gov website, which can be fixed. It's the stuff that, as Jonah was talking about, and where we agree, it's the stuff that's going to kick in that could be a problem. And income inequality is a battle cry that the Democrats are mounting, and I think when you pick something that almost by definition isn't a broad-based issue for a lot of people. It's not a pocketbook issue for everybody. It creates a little bit too much, I think, politically to have not, class warfare, intra-party wrangling about the best way to proceed, and I don't think that could be the only and main issue domestically for the Democrats going into 2014.
Well, it may be something that they pin the elections on, but it may be one of the few items that they have to work with. We'll see. Lynn Sweet, Jonah Goldberg, thank you.
Thank you.